All right, we are back. Sorry, y'all. Technical difficulties there. I'm just gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna play this little commercial here real quick, just so it gives people time to, play some of the paramedic stuff. But
Yeah.
just sit back. We'll be back here in a bit, and who knows? We'll talk about some cool, amazing stuff coming up. So, see you in a bit.
I'm Mike Hatcher.
Hey folks, it's Ernie Pack.
I am Natalie Jones.
What's up, everybody? My name's Matt Warner.
Hey, I'm G-Man. You know what? I'm George Shoplin. I'm anybody you want me to be, but you know what? There's one thing I am. I'm part of the para movement. That's right. Feel it. Oh, feel it.
My name is Melody Knapp, and I am part of the para movement.
This is April, the psychic housewife from New Jersey, and I am part of the para movement.
Hashtag the para movement.
And I am part of the para movement.
And I'm part of the para movement.
I'm Sophia Tambrelli, and I'm part of the para movement.
Just wanted to talk real quick about the para movement that's going on in the world. It's all about para unity. It's about para family. It's about diversity like you'll see nowhere else. In the paranormal community, we got folks of all races, religions, sexual orientations, political beliefs, you name it. And we're spreading positivity, good vibes everywhere. So, hashtag the para movement. Join it, be a part of it, and everybody have a great day. Take care.
All right, folks, we are back. Tessa, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yay, it works. We
you hear
did
me?
it. I think I figured it out. I think I know why the internet's going crazy because
Was it me? Because I always screw everything up when it comes to the internet.
well, no, number one, it's because of you, because you're so awesome, of what you do. So it's everybody's storming the internet right now to listen to Tessa. So I think that's why the internet is flooding right now with just people wanting to hear everything about you, which you actually, I'm sure everybody knows a lot about you because you have been on the show. And I know you got plenty of things going on right now.
Yeah.
Plus. I asked Tessa if it was okay to be possible if she could do maybe one or two readings. So in a bit, I will copy and paste the little link in the comment section, and I will choose one or two people to come on to get a reading from Tessa. So you don't want to miss out.
Yay.
So it will be awesome. You want to hear her message. Trust me. It'll be awesome. So anyways, so how's it going anyways, by the way? It's been so crazy. I know you've been busy. Plus I've been busy with everything going on. So what's going on? I know you have a lot of cool things going on right now. Yeah. I've been seeing some pictures. It kind of looks like Las Vegas, kind of. A little like kind of, I was like, is she in Vegas or something like that? I'm like, what's going on here? So tell me what's going on.
Yeah, maybe Vegas soon. I'm actually looking that way because, prior to the pandemic, when I started my casino show, I started touring. I mean, I had like a whole tour booked and I was moving toward Vegas. I was actually looking into little venues there. And then when that, hit and I, obviously had to transform everything into a podcast and stuff and it slowed down. But now the very first casino that I did a live show at, which is Seneca Niagara Casino here in my hometown, they decided to do this virtual series and it's called Inside the Bear's Den. So you can find it on the Seneca Niagara Casino page. And it's a virtual series. So every week there's going to be a new episode and my episode is going to air next month. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I had a really cool time, filming that. But I'm also on top of doing the virtual series. I'm booking live events, in different states. So I'm looking into the ones that are open and just different venues because New York's pretty tough still. So I have live venues booked. My podcast is going to be relaunching. And then there's some secret things that are coming up that I can't talk about, but I really wish I could talk about. but I can't.
I know that secret. Yeah, I got a secret too, and it's hard sometimes. When you have something you want to tell something so much, it's like, it bugs me. But
But soon enough, everybody will find out both of our secrets, and I'm very excited for you. So yeah, I'm keeping busy. On top of doing private readings and stuff like that, I just have my hands in like a bunch of different places, and maybe you'll see me in Vegas.
I mean, you got to come to Florida. It's pretty hot down here, so you could get out of the cool weather. Come to sunny, hot Florida.
I will give everybody a hint, but I am looking into 2 different locations in Florida currently to book live shows at. So.
Oh wow, That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to hit that up sometime and check it out. That'd be pretty cool to go to. Yeah, hey everybody on there. I see everybody on the chat room. Sorry for the craziness in the beginning. I've had technical difficulties on going live. The internet, it's pretty crazy. So what you gotta do? That's life.
I'll take the blame for it.
It's all Tessa's fault. No, I'm kidding. Hey Kathy, hey guys, hey Larry, hey Jillian, thank you guys for joining Animal Paranormal Live. Just want to let you guys know, if you guys missed out before my computer kind of crashed, I will be doing 2 more shows. This show right now tonight, and then the show next week I think is April 12th. That's not next week, sorry, my brain's kind of scattered, but with Dan Class, the owner from Hinsdale. So you don't want to miss out. He's also a good, really nice guy, really cool person, owner of Hinsdale. Don't want to miss Hinsdale. If you've been there, go again, because so much stuff is happening there all the time.
Yeah.
So you don't want to miss out. So talking about the paranormal, which I'm kind of taking a break from. I haven't really done any investigations lately because of what's going on in filming and stuff like that, which is kind of going on hold too, filming, because of the big news. But anything new with you going on in the paranormal world or something in that case right now?
There are, and I can't talk about it.
Oh.
How do I say this? I'll go around about it. I will be investigating some places coming up, especially next month. And I've never been to some of these places, so I'm really excited about it. And with a lot of the things that I do have coming up, it will involve the paranormal heavily, in a couple different areas. I just have so many different things going on. But I'm excited to get back out there and do some investigating and just new places. I love jumping into new places that maybe haven't been investigated before. And so you'll see me out there.
That'd be cool, man. I've been kind of like fishing a lot lately instead of paranormal investigating, because we're actually kind of getting ready. Me and my friend, who has a team here in Florida, we're going to be hopefully soon going to the Bermuda Triangle. Right now, we're getting a big boat ready that we just got. So it's getting fixed right now, and we're going to take it down there because we're divers. So we're going to be doing a kind of like a underwater paranormal adventure, treasure hunt, and just, kind of like pretty much just discover new things that people have not even seen before. So we're going to do this whole thing. It's going to be filmed and just pretty much document everything we find and just see what happens.
So you dive?
Yeah.
I was just watching Netflix. It was like I don't even know. It's those animal shows, right? Like about.
Yeah.
And I literally thought to myself, I'm like, I don't even think I would ever be able to dive or do that, because I'm like, I would get so claustrophobic. Put me in any haunted location you want. But when it comes to like being underwater or like sharks or anything like that, I freak out. So like, I would never be able to dive. Although like I give people props for like you doing it and stuff. I feel like it's terrifying.
It's how can I explain it? I've been doing it since I was 13 years old, and it's one of the things. It's the most relaxing things out there, other than hunting. Me and my daughter go hunting a lot when we have the time, but I think diving underwater, it's dangerous. It's a dangerous sport, and something you have to really like train for on on a daily basis for it, especially when you're doing dives like shipwrecks and stuff.
Right.
And depending how deep you want to go, if you want to go past 100 feet, you have to train your body. You have to train, swimming and make sure that you're not going to freak out in dark places.
That would be.
But it's awesome though, because not a lot of people realize a lot of paranormal activity happens in a lot of locations like shipwrecks underwater. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff like balls of light come out of nowhere. We've actually caught some EVP recordings underneath the water, which is actually a really good conductor. If you catch a EVP underwater, it's really awesome. Because we've actually done it above water before with a fish tank, with a running, when it keeps running and stuff circulating. And we've done some EVP sessions, and we caught amazing EVP sessions from it. So water is, and I would actually, if you guys ever try to do it, test it out, because it's awesome. You get a lot of cool EVPs out of it.
And then let me know how it goes, because I definitely won't be underwater.
Especially when I go to the Bermuda Triangle. Hopefully I won't disappear.
Don't do that. It's crazy though. You want to hear something weird? So we were just talking about this. There's a lake. So like where I live, there's like, a little creek nearby backyard, but it goes out to the lake. And then obviously I'm by Niagara Falls. There is so much activity, from what I understand, for people that live right on the lake by me, but like UFO activity and like it going down into the water and lights under the water. Like, you would be amazed at the amount of people who live in this area who talk about the UFOs or the lights that they see going under the water and stuff. So like, I feel like water, especially deep water oceans, it's a whole other world. Like, you have no idea what's going on in there. You know what I mean? So, and you're right, it's a conductor. So I could I've never even thought about that, which is weird, but like you're right. You could get EVPs down there. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, it's really cool. I think it's very fascinating too. And the ocean is so big and so wide. Not a lot of people, there's so much stuff that hasn't even been explored before.
Right.
So it's just really cool there's so many species we haven't that they're finding on a daily basis that are new. And like the megalodon, some people said they saw the megalodon. It's still alive. Who knows? But it's
my kids were just talking about this at the dinner table, and I'm like, what the hell is a megalodon? Like, I was talking about like sharks, and he's like, the megalodon, and I'm like, what am I? I don't know what that is.
Watch the movie Megalodon. It's really good. Trust me, you gotta rent it, or I'm not sure if it's on Netflix or something like that. But trust me, it's a really good movie. You love it.
So it's like a real thing, because I thought nuts. I was like, what are you talking about? They were talking about this gigantic, and I'm like, okay, sure. I mean, you never know, because the ocean is huge. So
yeah. Well, a megalodon was back then, dinosaur days. Back then. But some people are saying they still see this large creature in the deep waters, just like Nessie. Who would have thought people still to this day seeing Nessie, out there, like, or Bigfoot, or who knows? It could be somebody's grandma dressed up as something. I could, but it's just crazy, like, of what could be out there. It's unimaginative, and that's why I'm an explorer. I want to explore the deep. I want to go to places that I've never gone before. I want to not just do the paranormal, but I want to go in cave systems where you could go and way in there and see what is actually living there. I want to go to places where you go into caverns and just go down on a rope or something like that and just see and explore areas. You might even meet tribes or people that have never even been discovered yet. But it's just a really cool way to discover things and just and make new friends and have fun. That's the adventure part, is have fun.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, there's so much history behind things. We talk a lot about the paranormal and stuff, but even investigations, you look at like paranormal investigations. I mean, you go into a location, think about the history behind it, like the stories and the history and the things that you can find out about just the land surrounding it. Like, there's so much to the paranormal and to, like everything that surrounds it. I think people don't realize, we focus a lot on spirit and activity and whatever, but I think it's a combination of things. So it's cool that you're out, to look at, to find new things or new territories or whatever it might be. So yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for you.
That's all. Well, I got a question here from Chris. My father-in-law passed away in November of 2020. I felt like he was talking to me after his funeral. I felt like he was talking through my thoughts on the car ride home, but I thought I was going crazy and away when it happened. Do you think he was talking to me?
I actually love that question. I really do, because I talk about this all the time. So I'm happy Chris asked this, because people ask me personally, like, so I talk to spirit, right? Well, what does that sound like? Or, what do they look like to you? And really they infiltrate your thoughts. So when I was younger, I would see spirit and I would hear them as if it was an actual person standing there. But then as I got older and I started to maybe shut it down a little bit, it transformed to, in your thoughts. So you hear a lot about like the mind's eye, right? So you see things in your mind, but you also hear things in your mind as well. So I try to get people to understand that spirit will communicate not just to mediums, but to their loved ones through their mind. They infiltrate what you're feeling, what you're seeing, what you're thinking, smelling, tasting. Like they will infiltrate whatever they can to catch your attention. And I think that society and just us as adults, our logical brain wants to jump in and be like, you're nuts. You're not hearing those things. That's fake. You're making it up because you want to hear those things. When in reality, if we can push, our logical mind aside and trust that intuition and trust what's actually happening, we create that connection with spirit on the other side to be much stronger, to where then they can communicate more often and more frequently. It's all about trusting yourself. So, for Chris, for his, question, I absolutely believe that that was his father who was speaking to him, and just continue to talk to him. And listen, it's always that first thought that pops into your mind, or the first answer to the question that you have. Like I said, it's just training our brains to not jump to logic right away and say that that was fake, or, so it happens all the time. We just have to trust it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really awesome. You know what? It made me think, like, seeing spirits and stuff. Like, I'm always scared, like when I'm asleep, or something's gonna scare the crap out of me one day, like just like an apparition or something trying to tell me something. Have you ever had something like that happen to you? Like just like scare the crap out of you because like it was trying to in a funny way. It is kind of funny, but in a serious note, like trying to get your attention on, like trying to like say, oh, something's gonna happen here, or have you ever had like a kind of what the crap a moment, like in the middle of the night or something like that?
So a lot of people who know me in the paranormal field, there's people in specific who know this about me very much, but I get scared. Like I'm a jumper. And especially when it comes to like fake haunted houses or anything like that, I'm a screamer. Like normally the people in these haunted houses think it's hilarious. So they will pick on me the entire time until I leave the haunted house. So in the real world, in the real field, and I'm at a location or whatever, I get scared a lot. Like I think anybody would, baby. Like if you feel like something is suddenly happening, or something, a loud noise or whatever. So I definitely get startled. I think out of my sleep, more so when I was younger, there was a lot of things that would occur because I didn't necessarily have the boundaries that I do now. So I was very open to it. I was bombarded with it all night long, and there was sounds and there was people. Like it literally felt like just a throughway in my room of people just in and out, and so it would freak me out a lot when I was younger. But then as I got older and I created boundaries, and it was kind of like, I'm sleeping, not right now. It doesn't happen as often, but in locations, like haunted locations, I get loud noises, whatever, spiders, especially, I'm out.
Yeah. Oh, well, Chris said, thank you for the question, for sure. That makes me feel good as you reach out to me. That's awesome. But yeah, on that, yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Something to wake me up and just scare the crap out of me.
Yeah, that's why it's very important. Like even people in the paranormal field. So maybe you're not a medium necessarily, but you're in the paranormal field, you're working with it,
Yeah.
It's important to constantly, because we're in control of our energy and our space for the most part, and so if you're around it quite often, or you're inviting it in, or whatever might be happening, it's very important to create a boundary with yourself, to protect your energy, and so that things can't necessarily bombard you that way. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I had kind of an experience because I have paranormal stuff happening in my house all the time. And usually this little girl will show up. She's been showing up since we've lived here. And she hasn't been showing up in the past few weeks. I was like, that's kind of weird. She usually shows up on a daily basis. And it kind of gave me a whole crap moment because she showed up out of nowhere, which was in daylight outside. I was working on my car, and all of a sudden I turn around and she was right there. I'm like, it's just so weird when stuff happens like that. So you never know.
It's true. Yeah, it's very true. Actually, now that I think about it, more recently I was somewhere where I heard whistling like really loud, and I thought that somebody had been out like in a hallway, and I walked over to it thinking it was, somebody, like a real person, and I had opened the door and there was nobody there. And directly after that, I heard like this loud, like the minute that I went back in, I heard this loud thump, scared the absolute crap out of me, because now I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, so there wasn't like an actual person out there, and I don't hear them the same way that I did when I was a kid. So when you have like an apparition or a disembodied voice, like it takes you by surprise, because it's not something that happens all that often, so that was definitely like a what the heck moment for me. I was like, weird, right?
That's awesome, man. I'm getting so many questions here. Y'all folks, you're awesome. Thank you for your questions. We will answer a couple of them in a minute. I just want to say, if you do want a reading from Tessa, I will pick one or two people so you could get a reading from her. You don't want to miss it. I will pick one or two people. So I will post a link up in a second here, but I want to answer first, have her answer a couple of these questions here because they're coming by the second. So thank you so much for your patience. And if I don't get to you, I'm so sorry. We'll try to get to you once the show's over, see what we could do. But I got a question here from Kathy. How can I remember my dreams?
Ooh. That's a tough one, because I think there's a lot that goes into dreams.
Yeah.
And there's different types of dreams too. So like there's psychological dreams, right? There's visitation from spirit. And then there's like predictive dreams, or, things that might happen in the future. Sometimes we see things like that. But psychological dreams are very difficult sometimes to remember, because what that is really our unconscious mind coming alive at night, right? So like during the day we suppress, we might be stressed out about things, we might be upset or grieving, but during the day our conscious mind is active. We have to work, we have to be a parent, we have to whatever, and we suppress it. So at night, as we're sleeping, those things start to come out, and they come out in weird ways. We have those dreams where we're like, what the heck was that? So but depending on the things that are going on throughout your life, if you're super stressed out and things like that, and you wake up, it's kind of like shutting it right off, and sometimes we don't remember them. Visitations, we usually remember because it's our loved one coming to us. We might not remember exactly what was said, but we usually remember those. The only thing I could say about that is some sort of meditation. So movement meditation is really cool to try to use for remembering dreams. And that could be literally like a ride in the car, going for a walk, yoga, like some sort of, even people who like to work out or whatever, bike rides, movement meditation, to where you're focused on doing something moving, which occupies your conscious mind. And that allows you to kind of go back in a meditative state to where you can figure out maybe what happened at night. Also another thing that, like, sometimes we wake up during the night. I don't know about anybody else. I wake up a lot. So it would be helpful to write things down. If you do wake up, and keep like a little notebook by your bed and write that down. And so there's a bunch of different ways you can try, but I think it just depends on why you're not remembering the dreams. You know what I mean? There's a couple different reasons as to why you might not be remembering them.
That's awesome. We actually had someone just pop up here. You don't mind doing a quick reading real quick?
Okay.
All right, here we go. This is Helen.
Oh,
hey, Helen.
Fun. Hi.
Hi.
Oh, I'm so excited. I didn't know I get to see them. Yay. Hi, Helen.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Awesome. Have you
I
ever
love all your shows.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I'm like super excited. I feel like it's like Christmas. I'm like, we can.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. Have you ever had a reading before?
I have not.
Oh, okay, cool. So, you've watched my show, so you know how I work. And I'm so excited because normally if I can't see people, I'll just say, give me a first name of somebody. And then, I chant through the energy of the name. But when I get to see you like this, I'm like, I just pick up on immediately. So I'm very happy. Makes it easier for me.
Yeah.
Immediately you have a mother figure who comes through, but she also stands for a father figure. So did you lose both your parents?
No, my father.
Your father? Who's the mother figure that stands with him? Is there like a sister with him, or does your mom have a sister who passed?
No.
Okay.
Maybe a grandmother.
A grandmother, maybe? Okay. So when I want to connect with dad first, because the woman kind of stands a bit behind him. So she might have passed prior to dad. What's your father's first name?
Jean.
Jean?
Uh-huh.
How do you understand the breathing issues with him?
He had a lot of fluid in his lungs.
Yeah, because he made it like I almost felt like I wanted to cough, or there was to where I couldn't, breathe in all the way. Something prevented me. But then, so whenever spirit layers things for me, that means that it was like I was sick with this, or this was ongoing. Something else would have caused his passing. Is that correct?
Well, it was the breathing, but he
or there was layers somehow. There was more than one thing going on with him, he said, because it was almost like you wanted to treat this thing over here, but then this was going on as well. Does that make sense to you in the layers he's showing?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So he wants you to know that he's okay. And most of the time, as you listen, they want you to know that they're okay, because he says it was very frustrating for you because you felt like you almost didn't know what to do at one point, because it was like, if I don't treat this, right, like there's nothing we could do about that. But then it almost allowed this to decline. And he questioned yourself constantly, because he shows me this teeter-totter of trying to fix this, but then this went down, and then I tried to fix this, and then this went with this way. And he goes, can you please tell her she did absolutely everything that she needed to do for me? Because did you care for him at home?
I went and took care of him and my mom when he was in hospice.
Okay. Because he says you never left my side. You were right there. And he says, but you need to stop questioning the what ifs, because he said, I'm totally fine. Okay. Now, what's going on with mom up here?
With my grandmother?
No, mom, you said mom's still here?
Mom is still here, yeah.
What's going on with her up in the head?
Oh my gosh. She's having a lot of neck pain.
Okay.
And we're trying to get the doctor to do something about it, and it's difficult.
Okay. Because your father's stepping in, and he just put his hands around her head like this. And he says, can you let her know that I'm protecting her, because this is affecting her? Now, I can't prescribe or diagnose anything. Okay. But there's something going on within the head that may be causing. So I don't know if what's causing this neck pain. I can't prescribe or diagnose, but your father's very adamant about holding her head and saying, I'm trying to protect her, and I'm working from the other side to heal her of this. Okay.
Okay.
He also wants to acknowledge there's something coming up for him. So is there something, he said two things. So April and May?
Not that I know of.
Birthday or anniversary? I want to talk about May more so than anything, though. Then he goes backwards to December.
December is his birthday.
Okay. So something about May. I kind of want to push towards May. So if it makes no sense, just keep it here. Because I always say sometimes we don't even think about dates, and then we're like, oh crap, that's what it was. But he's talking about May, and then he goes to December. And he also wants to acknowledge the month of June.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about June either. No.
Keep it in your mind. But he does come forward to talk about that he's okay. All right. And he's at peace. He's also talking about something about the house. Do you still own their house?
No, we had to sell it.
Okay. Because he was talking about the house. He's like, ask her about the house, ask her about the house. But you kept a bunch of stuff like furniture.
Yeah.
Like what, you kept his furniture?
We have his old army chest and things like that.
Okay. Because like loves that you have his furniture, or however you understood that, and that you go through it quite often. So
we use it as a coffee table, actually.
Oh my God, so crazy. I was just gonna be like, what did you do to it? He was like, but she did something different, or she like restored it, or you did something to it to make it look different.
Yeah, it's right here with us every day.
Wow.
So just know that he's taking a moment to just let you know that he knows what you did. And by doing these things and keeping that as part of your everyday life, you're also keeping him with you. So he wants you to know, number one, he's okay. Number two, that he's watching over mom, and he wants to thank you for all you do. He realizes how difficult it can be, but you're doing all the right things. He just wants you to believe that you're doing all the right things and know that he's behind you the whole way. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, we're going to be picking one more here in a bit. Please be patient. I know there's a couple of people in the green room right now, but I do want to answer a couple of people's questions here before I choose one more person. Let's see. There's so many right here. Let's choose. How do you block spirits out so you could have quiet time or family time? That's a good question.
It is. So it's weird because like we can't get rid of them necessarily.
Yeah.
They're always going to be there. And especially if you have kids, you know, kids are very open, and so are animals to spirit, you know, so it's more difficult for kids and animals. There's just no point. Animals see them no matter what. But with children, it's a little bit more difficult to get them to shut it down. For you though, and you could, you know, if you do have kids, and you could practice this with children. But you think about it, when I work with kids, I talk about the bubble technique. So remember, what's her name? Glinda from The Wizard of Oz.
Yep.
You know how she comes down in that big old bubble?
Yep.
I use this for kids because kids can, you know, visualize this. But if you visualize like a bubble around you energetically, and just saying that anything outside the bubble like needs to stay out there, and like this is my space right now, so I don't want to hear anything, see anything, feel anything. That has to stay on the outside of the bubble until I'm ready to address it. It's practicing that kind of stuff every single day at night. If you're out in public somewhere, you're in Walmart or whatever, and it's bombarded with people, practice that technique as well. And so just kind of practicing keeping them at a distance from you or outside of that technical, you know, the energetic bubble that you have. I know it sounds crazy, but you know, spirit is energy, right? So it's all energetic work, and it's within the mind. And so that's where you have to be the most, you know, adamant about it, is right within the mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. 100%. That's, I think my computer just went dumb for a second.
Goes right along with everything else tonight.
Oh man. I don't know. It's crazy. But let's answer another question here, and we'll go with one more guest here to get a reading. Let's see. Actually, yeah, let's answer this one. Let's see. What is your most memorable paranormal encounters?
Ooh, my most memorable, let me think, paranormal encounter. You know, I talk a lot about when I have two. When I went to Waverly Hills in Kentucky, what I didn't know, you know, people know what Waverly Hills is. It was big, you know, like tuberculosis was major there. And, you know, people who know the backstory of that is when families would come in, there was like a woman's area, there was the men, and then there was a children's ward. And they separated families, and sometimes they weren't able to ever be reconnected. So I remember going in there, and, you know, I was in the death chute and I was all over the place, but I didn't know that in one location I was in, it was the children's ward. And all I remember is because I'm a mom, and I kept hearing a child, and it kept yelling like, mommy, mommy, mommy. And it like threw me off, because I'm like, I know my kids are not here. So, and then I asked somebody, and I was like, what is this? Because I keep hearing children, you know, and it was the children's ward. So I got very emotional, because as an empath and as a medium, you feel whatever was going on with those people or the spirits or the children, whoever it was at that time. And so I started getting very emotional, and I'll never forget, I felt somebody like play with my hair, and a ball just went like rolled directly in front of me. And I was like, you know, for me, who speaks to spirit all the time, to see something like that happen right in front of me, it was almost like, don't cry, let's play ball. Like, it was almost like spirit was consoling me.
Wow.
It was weird. So that was one. And then the other one was, I think at the Hinsdale house, and you were talking about the Hinsdale house. and there was a little boy that, you know, because Dan and I are friends. We've known each other for like 7 years now.
Yep.
And I finally went to the Hinsdale house back in October. And, you know, there's been a lot of encounters with many different spirits and energy there. But when I got on the property, there was a little boy. And again, right, like I'm a mom. So like the boy was attracted to the mom figure. And then there was a gentleman there who was also a father. And both of us were picking up on this kid. Everybody else was kind of off doing their thing. And both him and I ended up in this little closet upstairs. And the boy would hide in there. And then, you know, eventually it was being picked up through the Geo box and things like that, that this little boy was in fact here and very super attached to both me and this other gentleman who was there at the time. But like, it was so vivid and it was so strong. And then to have what we were feeling being picked up, you know, evidentially through these, you know, tools and things like that was just unbelievable. So Hinsdale.
Wow. Yeah, that place brings me back good memories. Just be able to work with Nick there, and a lot of good stuff happened there and during that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool place. Definitely check it out. Hinsdale, Dan class. You know, go there. You know, book it way in advance because it gets booked quick, fast. So
send me a pizza with pepperoni, please.
Yeah. But before we invite one more guest, if people want to get a reading from you, where should they go?
So right now, I answer my emails and my messages every single day, but like I am flooded with them. So, you know, you can email me at, I have two. I have TessaDelZappo@gmail.com and bookwithtessa@gmail.com. I always check those first. So I always tell people, you know, my website's up and coming. I have a couple changes to make to it before you can actually book directly on the site. So until then, they can email me. And I do have a waiting list, but I answer emails and I get in contact with people every single day.
So yeah, if you don't get to be able to go on tonight, please message her. It'll be awesome. You'll get an amazing reading. But oh man, I gotta choose one. I'm sorry if I don't choose you. I apologize, but please message her.
I like that I don't know who I'm gonna get to read. Like I love the element of surprise. This is my favorite.
Oh man, and they seem like both amazing people too, because there's only two on the bottom there. Trying to think. I wonder if I should do a kind of a game. Let's play kind of a game. See who could answer the. I should make up like a quiz question. See whoever wins could be able to get a free reading. All right. Let's. I'll have to bring up. I'll bring up Heather. Up here.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
How are you, Heather?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I love this. I love being able to see people. Have you ever had a reading before?
I have, but I've actually watched you several times. So I've never actually had one by you other than a small one. So this is awesome.
Oh my gosh, I'm super excited. I'm so happy. Awesome. So like I said before, you know, I didn't know that I was going to be able to see people. So normally I'll ask for like a first name, but I don't need it now that I could see you. So when I see you and when I start to kind of connect with your energy, there's a younger energy who stands with you who would have passed quicker unexpected. So I don't know how you connect with this person. I almost feel like this would be a male figure. So is there a young male who would have passed before his time and they snapped their fingers, which means it happened very quickly, tragically, like nobody would have expected this to happen. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Who is this for you?
Well, he's younger than me now, technically in death. He died when he was 4. So my brother.
Okay. Now the weird thing is so when spirit shows me kind of like a creep up moment, nobody would have known that he was either like whatever would have happened. Why does he show me that this crept up on him? He does want you to know that he did not suffer, okay, in the way that this happened, but he showed me it creeping up on him. So what does that mean to you? Was there something?
So technically we're unsure how he passed. It was inconclusive. So
Interesting. Okay. Because it was weird the way he made me feel, right? Because sometimes what spirit does is, well, most of the time what spirit does is they infiltrate what I'm feeling, thinking, seeing, whatever, to get me to understand what they want you to understand. And he says to me, like, this crept up on me, right? So even he was very vague in the way that he made, this, but he made me feel like I just stopped breathing. Okay. So it was almost just like, boom, I stopped. So I don't know if he passed at home, because I feel as though it was almost like I didn't wake up. Okay. And he says it was almost like I went to sleep and that was it. So I need my family to know that I'm all right. Okay. But it's funny because you said he's much younger than you. He's not. He grew up with you. Because was he older than you?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, older than you. He's laughing. He was like, I'm not and her.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's grown with you. He was a year older than you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's very funny. Like, he was like, I'm not younger than her.
I mean, day and see, he would be like that.
Are your birthdays close or something? Is there something about like your birthdays are like within a couple months, but
September and mine's May. And I thought it was actually weird that you said something about May, because the last time I saw him was in May at my birthday, and then he passed in June. And I think you actually mentioned May and June to the lady before me when I was sitting in backstage. So I thought it was really cool.
And you know what's cool about this is it shows like I don't really have control over what's coming through, right? And I also didn't know that he was going to pick you because I had no control over this either. But like I pick up on spirit, and spirit knows even before it happens that they're going to get to speak with you. So it very well could be that the dates were coming through for you. I always say however people understand it, but I need you to know that your brother has been with you throughout life. Now, do you have children as well?
Yes.
Okay, because he talks about.
Yes, I have one son.
Does he look like your? He goes, why does he reminds you of him? You understand that?
Yes.
So he wants you to know he's very connected with your son. Okay. He's been with you the entire time. He's now with your son, and he laughs because he goes, she's in for it, because he goes, I was a handful and your son is just like him.
Wow.
He's a lot like him.
Yeah. So pay attention, because I just said this a little earlier in the show, is that kids are super open to spirit. And so I don't know if you already noticed him playing with somebody or interacting, because your brother has been with him since the day he was born. So just know that he will always be with him the same way he was with you. And he goes, I'm just so proud of her, and I need her to know that I'm around her son.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Now, you also have a grandmother who would have passed on mom's side?
Yes.
Because he goes, I need her to know that I'm also with grandma. And grandma steps forward to be in this talk, because she's like, oh, they're talking about the kid. I want to talk about her. I want to talk about him. So she also comes forward to say, because did she pass before your son was born?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because she goes, I never got a chance to meet him. So she wants you to know that she knows about him because you were close with her. You understand that?
Mm-hmm.
And you keep saying, like, I wish that she would have been here to see this. I wish she would have been here to see this, or you would have loved him. You would have loved him. And she goes, I need her to know I still am there. And is there also a connection for grandma's birthday coming up as well? Because I know we talked about your brother, but there's also your grandma's coming up.
Yeah,
and
she's May as well. She's actually 2 days before mine, I think.
Okay. So just know that as you celebrate, because she says they still celebrate me all the time. So she just needs you to know that she's along here with it. And then do you also have something of grandma's that you keep hidden away somewhere? Like a piece of jewelry or something that would have been passed down to you?
Yes, I have a gold chain with hearts on it from her.
Wow.
Just keep it hidden away.
Yeah. It's in a jewelry box. I know where it is, but I, haven't pulled it out in so long. So yeah, that's crazy.
She's like, I'm always with her. She keeps my pretty little thing hidden away, but she's like, I'm always with her. I'll let it slide. Just know she's with your brother. She's been protecting him, and they come together not only to say that they love you, that they're around you, they're around your son, but that they're at peace and they're together on the other side.
Wow.
the crazy thing is, Tessa, that every time I've had a reading, they always come together. Like, and
Really?
so yes, that's really confirmation that, you know, some of the other readings I've had are also legitimate. So thank you. That's amazing.
Absolutely. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for coming on here tonight with us.
Thank you for having me as well. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
right.
Wow, it just tears my heart open, you know, because you know with people passing away, it's just crazy because you miss them so much, and it's like you want them to come back, but they're still there no matter what. Like right now, I just found out my aunt, who I'm really close to, has leukemia, cancer. So it's a tough situation when you lose a loved one or someone who took their own life, or I mean, whatever it is, it's a sad situation and it's heartbreaking, and you'll never forget about that because it'll stay with you forever.
It's true. And I think that's why I take what I do so seriously. And like, I love what I do and my ability because, like you said, everybody there, it's really the universal question of like, well, what happens when we die? What happens to, where did our loved ones go? Are they around us? You know, are they actually here? Are they really interacting with us? And I think with my ability and the way that I've developed it, you know, to evidentially prove to where like I shouldn't know any of those things, you know, but to prove that they really are around us, that they're still able to watch us and be there and celebrate things with us, even if it's not in a physical form.
Wow.
I think one of the most healing things that somebody can be given, you know what I mean? So I love my ability and I take it very seriously. And, you know, to be able to validate and heal and provide closure for people is really what I love to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. And time is running up very short, but before we go, I do want to talk about, you know, because you are Italian, you know, talk about Italian food, which is my favorite thing. And it's like, you know, you're in New York, you get a lot of good Italian food and pizza and calzone. I'm getting hungry now just saying it.
Yes.
But like, what is your most favorite which you kind of teased me a little bit when you posted that picture. Got me really hungry and wanted something.
The spingi?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is my favorite Italian food? Is that the question?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know how to pick. I guess I love like gnocchi. I love gnocchi. I love ravioli. Honestly though, like, you know, because so I have family in Naples still, you know, half my family's Sicilian, the other half is more Northern Italian.
Yeah.
But I have been looking into it. One day I'm going to own my own, like, you know, stone pizza oven, but like the Naples, like thin crust Naples, like margherita pizza, I would eat like 17 of them if somebody.
Yeah.
I love pizza. Anybody who knows me, like I don't even know why I went down the gnocchi and ravioli, you know, road, because honestly, who knows me knows I love pizza. So like a serious Napolitan, like margherita pizza, I'll eat like all of them.
Oh god, that's awesome. Yeah, I think my favorite Italian pizza is veal parmesan and pizza all the way, calzone. I can. There's a long list. And the funny thing is, like, I always say, like, I'm sick of pasta. I don't want pasta again. And 2 seconds later, I'm eating pasta. It's like a curse that you just, no matter what, you get tired of it, you eat it anyways because it's so good. It tastes good, and it's like.
I just made it tonight. I just made pasta tonight. So.
Yeah, sadly, I didn't have any Italian food tonight, but it was still delicious.
Like American Italian versus like, you know, traditional Italian is very different. Like the Americanized version of Italian food is not really what they eat over in Italy, you know? So, but I cook a lot of my stuff. I cook very much like, you know, my family in Naples and stuff. So all of that. So yeah. Interesting, huh?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Being Italian is awesome.
Yeah, that's all. People are talking about pasta now and everything. That's awesome.
It goes from spirit to pasta. And
We should just have a podcast talking about Italian food, just like pasta and all that stuff. Just go through every single little thing and explain like how to cook it and stuff.
Well, I was thinking of, I don't know, like, how, who's watching, but like, I was really thinking of me posting like a cooking video because I do it all the time. And people are always like, how do you make that? Or what's the recipe? And I'm like, I should just make a cooking video and show people how I make it.
It should be called Tessa's Italian medium
medium pasta.
Medium pasta. You could do a reading and cook at the same time.
The cooking medium.
Yeah. Italian cooking medium.
Cooking medium pizza.
Oh man, that's awesome. Thank you so much coming on, Tessa. It was again a pleasure. And if you want to like do a couple of plugins on what you're doing and how they can reach you again on to get a reading and pretty much what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I just tell people truly follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram. My Facebook, I went from it said Tessa Del Zappo Psychic Medium. I took away the psychic medium part because all of these fake pages were being made, unfortunately, of me and trying to get people to give them credit card information. So it's just Tessa Del Zappo on all of my social media. Facebook, Instagram, and I tell people to just follow because things are coming up all the time. I will be announcing, the virtual series that I'm doing over on, at the Seneca Niagara Casino page. And then there's just so many other things that are coming up. So follow me on my pages and you guys can see what I have in store.
That's awesome.
My dad.
He says, I'm getting hungry now.
Well, you know what? I shouldn't have told him that I made pasta. I guarantee you he'll be at my door being like, you have any extras? Over.
That's awesome. Your dad. he's like, that's Del Zoppo. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on Animal Paranormal Live. My next one will be with Dan Class. Don't miss out. The owner of Hinsdale. And like Tessa said, reach her on social media and check her out if you want a reading. And thank you guys for being patient. Sorry if I didn't get to your questions. There was so many. And I'm really great. We're both grateful for your questions. And we'll try to get to them as much as possible. If not, thank you so much again for staying tuned on Animal Live, and we're out.
Thank you.